This is something I rarely say out loud, but most blood pressure readings taken at home by adults over 60 are not accurate. And it's not because you're careless. It's not because you bought the wrong monitor. It's because nobody ever taught you the specific ways that measuring blood pressure after 60 is different from measuring it at 40. And that difference matters enormously. Because if your readings are running too high due to a simple correctable mistake, you could be started on medication you don't actually need. Medication that, as we covered in a previous video, can push your blood pressure dangerously low when you stand up. And on the flip side, if your readings are coming back falsely normal, real hypertension could be hiding in plain sight, going untreated, quietly damaging your heart, your kidneys, and your brain. My name is Dr. Emily Carter. I've spent over 20 years in clinical medicine, and today I'm going to walk you through 10 of the most common blood pressure mistakes I see in patients over 60, and exactly how to fix every single one of them. Before we start, drop a comment right now with the number of times per week you currently check your blood pressure. Just the number, nothing else. I want to see what we're working with because the answer is going to matter a great deal by the time we reach mistake number 8. Let's get into it. Mistake number 1, measuring with a full bladder. This is the one that surprises people most because it seems completely unrelated. But bear with me. When your bladder is full, it activates your sympathetic nervous system. That's your body's fight or flight system, and in response, your heart rate rises and your blood vessels constrict, which pushes blood pressure up. Here's how significant that effect is. A full bladder can raise your systolic blood pressure, that top number, by anywhere from 4 to 33 millimeters of mercury. And it can raise your diastolic, the bottom number, by 3 to 18 millimeters of mercury. That is not a minor fluctuation. A swing of that size is the difference between a reading that triggers a new medication and a reading that doesn't. The fix is simple. Before you sit down to measure your blood pressure, always use the bathroom first, every single time, no exceptions. One habit, potentially life-changing consequence. Mistake number 2, only ever checking one arm. Most people pick one arm, stick with it forever, and never give the other arm a second thought. This is a mistake, especially after 60. Here's why. Blood pressure is not always identical between your left arm and your right arm. A small difference is normal, a large difference is not. A systematic review published in the British Journal of General Practice found that as many as 11% of people with high blood pressure had a difference of 10 millimeters of mercury or more between their two arms. And that discrepancy, left unchecked, can lead to a completely incorrect picture of what your blood pressure actually is. More importantly, in adults over 60, a consistent difference of 10 points or more between arms can be an early sign of peripheral vascular disease, narrowing in the arteries that feeds the arm. That is something your doctor needs to know about. The fix. At least once every few months, measure both arms back to back. If one arm consistently reads higher, use that arm going forward. And if the difference is 10 points or more, bring those numbers to your doctor. Don't wait for them to ask. Mistake. 3. Not sitting still before you measure. This is probably the most violated rule in home blood pressure monitoring, and one of the most impactful. Blood pressure does not settle the moment you sit down. Any recent movement, stress, conversation, or physical activity activates your nervous system. Your heart rate is still elevated. Your blood vessels are still constricted. And if you measure right away, that reading is not showing you your resting blood pressure. It's showing you your recovering blood pressure, which will almost always run higher. The standard recommendation is to sit quietly for at least 5 full minutes before measuring. Back supported, feet flat on the floor, no talking, no texting, no television in the background, just breathing. 5 minutes feels like a long time when you're in a hurry, but consider this: if skipping those 5 minutes adds 10 to 15 points to your reading, and that inflated reading convinces your doctor to add another medication, the cost of this 5 minutes is extraordinarily high. Set a timer, sit, breathe, then measure. Mistake. 4. Wrong arm position. Where your arm is positioned during measurement matters far more than most people realize. And after 60, when blood pressure readings are guiding major medication decisions, getting this right is not optional. Here is what the research shows. A randomized controlled trial looked at the most common arm positions used at home and in clinics, and found that many of them lead to substantial overestimations. If your arm rests on your lap during measurement, both systolic and diastolic readings can be artificially inflated by around 4 millimeters of mercury. If your arm hangs unsupported at your side, your systolic reading may be overestimated by as many as 7 points. The correct position. Your arm should be fully relaxed, resting on a flat surface, a desk or table, with the middle of the cuff positioned at the same level as your heart. Not higher, not lower. Heart level. This one positional adjustment alone can take a reading that looks like a problem and reveal it to be completely normal. Mistake number 5. Using the wrong cuff size. This is one of the most common reasons for inaccurate blood pressure readings in older adults, and almost nobody checks it. Here is how blood pressure cuffs work. They apply pressure around the arm until blood flow in the artery is temporarily stopped. If the cuff is too small for your arm, it takes more pressure to do that, which artificially inflates the reading. If the cuff is too large, the reading comes back falsely low. False reassurance, potentially just as dangerous. Here is the simple fix. Take a tape measure and wrap it around your bicep, halfway between your shoulder and your elbow. Measure the circumference. The ideal cuff bladder length should cover 75 to 100% of that measurement. The bladder width should cover 40 to 50%. And one more thing on cuffs, the cuff must go on bare skin. Never measure over clothing, even a thin sleeve. Rolling up a sleeve can create a tourniquet effect that constricts blood flow and corrupts the reading entirely. Measure your arm. Check your cuff size. Do it once and you'll know for good. Mistake number 6, measuring right after caffeine or alcohol. Two of the most common substances in daily life, and both can significantly distort a blood pressure reading if the timing is wrong. Caffeine. The general recommendation is to wait at least 30 minutes after coffee or tea before measuring. Now, this isn't a hard rule for everyone. Habitual daily coffee drinkers tend to develop some tolerance to caffeine's blood pressure effect. But for people who drink it occasionally, or those who metabolize caffeine slowly, the impact on a reading can be substantial. Alcohol is more complex. According to a Cochrane meta-analysis, consuming 3 or more alcoholic drinks lowers blood pressure for up to 12 hours after consumption, and then raises it for the following 12 to 24 hours. So, depending on when you measure relative to when you drank, alcohol can make your blood pressure look artificially low or artificially high. The simple rule: if you've had caffeine in the last 30 minutes, wait. If you've had alcohol in the last 24 hours, note that when you record your reading, context matters as much as the number itself. Mistake number 7. Talking during the measurement. This one sounds almost too minor to mention. It is not. Talking activates your respiratory muscles, changes your breathing pattern, and engages your nervous system. Studies show that speaking during blood pressure measurement can raise systolic readings by 10 to 15 millimeters of mercury. That is not noise in the data. That is a clinically significant elevation that could change a diagnosis. This happens constantly in clinical settings. A nurse puts on the cuff and asks how your week has been. You answer. The machine reads, the number goes on your chart. At home, you are in control of this. The rule is absolute. Once that cuff is on your arm and the measurement begins, silence. No talking. No responding to someone in the other room. No answering your phone. 30 seconds of silence is all it takes. And it could be the difference between an accurate reading and one that sends you down a treatment path you don't belong on. Mistake. 8. Relying on a single reading. This is the mistake I see most often, and the one with the most serious consequences for adults over 60. Blood pressure is not a fixed number. It fluctuates constantly throughout every single day based on stress, sleep quality, physical activity, what you ate, your emotional state, even your breathing pattern at the moment of measurement. One reading, even 2 or 3, does not tell the full story. What matters is the pattern, the average over time. A single high reading no more means you have hypertension than a single low reading means your blood pressure is controlled. Here is the protocol I recommend. If you are starting home monitoring for the first time, measure twice daily for 2 full weeks, morning and evening. At each session, take 2 readings 1 minute apart and record both. After 2 weeks, you will have enough data to see your true baseline pattern, not a snapshot, a picture. After that initial phase, 2 to 3 readings per week is sufficient for most people. More frequently if you have diabetes, insulin resistance, or existing cardiovascular risk factors. Use your averages to guide conversations with your doctor, not your worst single reading and not your best. Mistake number 9, measuring at inconsistent times. Most people measure their blood pressure whenever they think of it. After breakfast one day, before dinner another, mid-afternoon when they're bored, and then they hand their doctor a log of numbers that are completely incomparable to each other. Blood pressure follows a predictable daily rhythm. It is typically lowest in the early morning hours, rises sharply after waking, peaks in the late morning, dips slightly after lunch, rises again in the afternoon, and then gradually falls through the evening and overnight. If you measure at different times each day, you are measuring different points on that curve and comparing them as though they mean the same thing. They don't. The fix: pick 2 consistent times each day and stick to them. Most cardiologists recommend first thing in the morning before any medication and before eating, and then again in the evening before dinner. Same time, same conditions, every day. Consistency in your monitoring is what turns individual readings into genuinely useful data. Mistake number 10, using a wrist monitor. Wrist blood pressure monitors are everywhere now. They are convenient, compact, and heavily marketed. And for adults over 60 making important health decisions based on their readings, I have serious concerns about them. Here is the problem. The sensor in a wrist monitor must be positioned precisely over the radial artery and held at exactly heart level during measurement. In practice, that positioning is extraordinarily difficult to achieve and almost impossible to reproduce consistently from one reading to the next. The data reflects this. A large population-based study of over 700 people found that 86% of wrist monitor users had a measurement error of at least 5 millimeters of mercury, and 63% had errors of 10 millimeters of mercury or more. In a younger person tracking general wellness, an error of 5 to 10 points is inconvenient. In an adult over 60 whose doctor is using those readings to make medication decisions, an error of that magnitude is a genuine clinical problem. The recommendation is clear. Use a validated upper arm cuff monitor. They are available at most pharmacies for $30 to $50. They are far easier to position correctly, and they produce readings you can actually trust. If you own a wrist monitor right now, consider this your sign to upgrade. The right way, bringing it all together. Let me give you the complete accurate blood pressure protocol in one place, so you have it for every measurement going forward. Empty your bladder first. Sit quietly for 5 full minutes, back supported, feet flat. No caffeine in the last 30 minutes. No alcohol in the last 24 hours. Arm resting on a flat surface at heart level, bare skin under the cuff. Correct cuff size for your arm circumference. No talking once the measurement begins. Take 2 readings 1 minute apart and record both. Do this at the same time each day and measure both arms at least once a month, using the arm that gives the higher reading for your regular monitoring. After 2 weeks of consistent data, that is when your readings become genuinely meaningful. That is the information worth bringing to your doctor. Because accurate data leads to accurate diagnoses. Accurate diagnoses lead to the right treatment decisions. And the right treatment decisions, especially in adults over 60, can be the difference between a medication that helps you and one that harms you. Here's what you now know that most people, including many who have been monitoring their blood pressure for years, still don't. A blood pressure reading is only as accurate as the conditions under which it was taken. A single mistake, the wrong cuff size, a full bladder, 3 minutes instead of 5, a wrist monitor instead of an arm cuff can turn a normal reading into an alarm or hide a real problem entirely. You now have the complete picture, and more importantly, you have the exact steps to fix every one of these mistakes, starting with your very next reading. Go back to the comment section right now and tell me, which of these 10 mistakes were you making? I want to know. And I read every single one. If this video helped you, share it with someone you care about who is over 60 and managing their blood pressure at home. That one share could genuinely protect them from a medication decision made on a reading that was never accurate to begin with. Take care of yourselves, stay informed, and never stop asking questions about your own health. Medical disclaimer: this video is for general educational and informational purposes only and does not constitute medical advice. Blood pressure monitoring and management should always be individualized and discussed with your own healthcare provider. Never adjust or discontinue medications based on home readings alone. Always consult a qualified medical professional before making any changes to your treatment plan.